pulling a LeBron James
There we
receding
go.
hairline.
How are the boys?
Boys are good. Boys are good. You know, we are live on YouTube now, so no, boys are good. We're adapting to our new situation, and yeah, it'll get better. So, um, anyway, we are live on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
YouTubes.
Let's get some tweets and Facebook whatevers and I don't know, TikToks and Instagrams and
Okay, Boomer. Okay, Boomer. Calm down.
Why are we not on TikTok?
Why are we?
Because we can't manage the social media that we do have.
That is accurate. That is accurate. We need a social media manager. That's what we need. You know, if we had someone that was good and focused on social media, that'd be great.
Why is Manny popping up in my search?
Who? Minnie?
Manny Esquivel.
You and Minnie must be best buds then, huh?
BFFs.
Right now.
BFFs.
There's kind of there's a language barrier though because he speaks like super dialect Spanish and I don't.
Okay.
He also knows a shit ton of soccer and I don't.
Well, Earl, you just gotta watch more soccer then.
I try. It's kind of hard with the full-time job.
What are you talking about? I have a full-time
Dude,
job.
I have a full-time job too, and you work at a desk. You should be able to pull it up all the time.
Yeah, and I should be able to, but life gets in the way.
Yeah, life gets in the way of a lot of things, but that's why you put it on the background, whatever you're doing, or I know it's kind of hard to find soccer to download, but you could at least, get the unlimited 5G data and watch it at your desk.
I don't have 5G.
I did.
Look. We live in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
And the only way we're getting 5G is if I win that vaccine lottery.
You work for the government, Earl.
Which is why I'll never win that vaccine lottery.
Well, no, I'm saying you should have 5G if you work for the government.
Yeah, we don't. I work in Moriarty. We're lucky if we have power.
Hey,
I think you pronounced that wrong.
With all the rain we've been getting lately, you might be right there, Earl.
We drove to Roswell.
Moriarty?
It's Moriarty.
Moriarty. Why the fuck do I not have... What's going on here?
I don't know.
You know what? There it is. I got to ask you guys this before we get into the show. We're talking about pronunciations of cities here. When I first moved out here, people were telling me I got to go down to Ruidoso. Is it Ruidoso or Ruidoso? Because of how it's spelled.
Ruidoso.
It's kind of like a tomato thing. It doesn't. I think either or works.
It just, to me, it doesn't make like I understand. Like that's how I learned it was Ruidoso. But if you look at it, it's not spelled that way, and it makes
no, it's spelled Ruidoso.
Yeah, it makes no sense to my brain. Like to say Ruidoso when it doesn't. Anyway, I was just curious. Because I have no idea. I'm not from here. I like to boil my water.
What is Ruidoso? Now you got me in my head. Now I can't even pronounce it. What does Ruidoso stand for? What does it mean? Anybody? Is it Spanish?
I have no idea.
You're Spanish.
But
your face is Spanish.
I have no idea.
I'm working on it. Hold on. My fingers only type so fucking quick. So Ruidoso means noisy.
Noisy?
Yeah.
I would not put that together with Ruidoso.
Yeah, it's...
Or rowdy. Either one.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Ruidoso is an adjective. The adjective is the word that accompanies the noun to determine or qualify it. Sorry, I couldn't read.
The more you know. I'm gonna do a today I learned over on Reddit saying today I learned that Ruidoso means noisy or rowdy. People are gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, they don't already?
Yeah, they might just do that. So, oh man, what a week! What a week! All right, we are live on YouTube. We got our tweets, we got our posts, we got our TikToks, whatever. We're not on TikTok yet. That's the one place where we're not.
Yeah.
But
We're on
folks,
Pornhub though.
if
We're never gonna be on TikTok, guys. Never.
I don't know, maybe Allie can help us out with that. If Allie's
Oh,
Allie does not do TikTok.
Allie does not do TikTok. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, we got to find a social media person. So if anyone knows somebody that is good at social media, can help us out with this, like can help us stay more organized with the social medias, that would be awesome. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. At this point, we will get right into our show. It is Tuesday night, guys. So thank you so much for being here on YouTube. We were a few
And
minutes
then,
late.
what are you,
And
Earl?
Earl starts
Earl, what are you doing? That was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Earl's after some Easter candy from last year, apparently. I don't know what that was.
What just happened?
Cellophane wrap is what that was.
That was. I'm pretty sure it was louder than this. Earl's just over here opening every food. Oh my god.
Oh man, this is so much fun. I like doing this.
Can you pop? Can you open that seal? I really want to hear that. Put it right. Put it right. Oh yeah, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Earl Makes Weird Sounds podcast. Why is this entertaining? Why? Is it because we don't want to talk about soccer after the week that we
might
had?
be. It might
Oh,
be.
God.
Oh man, this has been the opening foodstuffs with Earl.
Are you serious? What is that? A
a
drill?
drill?
You're gonna, a Dremel? Really? That's. Shh. Why? Oh man,
Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. This is
what is going on?
We're-
We've lost. We haven't even started, and we've lost control.
we haven't started. Yeah, exactly. We lost
Earl,
control.
no more. No.
We I don't know what Earl's doing now, but we were a
Can
few
you mute
minutes
him?
late.
Please mute him. Just mute him.
Disinfectant spray. All right.
Jeez.
Oh man. All right.
I got nothing else. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Uh,
Oh
Ladies
my
and gen-
gosh. Whew. And now he's fighting the spray.
oh man. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Do we have to?
Yes.
This-
Yes, we have
It's
to.
9:50, guys. What
Been,
is going on?
I feel like it's been a week and a half since we talked, so we got to do this. We got to get started. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Somos podcast. My name, of course, is Seth, and joining me tonight is Jacob Terrell and Earl Nieto. This is episode number 46, Road Woes, or something to that effect. We'll figure out a name after the fact, but guys, it's been a heck of a week and a half, and we're gonna get right into it. We talked about the last time we sat down and we talked. It was after the Colorado Springs match, I believe it was, and oh,
Seth,
man.
you're gonna have to mute him. That's the only way we're gonna get through this podcast.
I might just leave that one in there. I might just leave it there. But before we get into our New Mexico United discussion, one burning question of the week: NBA Finals, who's gonna win?
Earl.
Phoenix.
Yeah, I think Earl's right. Just for the simple fact that I mean, Giannis came back tonight, but I don't think he's going to be 100% at all, and I think Phoenix is just a deeper team, and has more balance across their roster both offensively and defensively right now. So, and as of right now, I think they are up 1-0 in the series because game one ended a few minutes ago of final score 118 to 105 Phoenix. So,
yes. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Did you watch it? Did either of you watch it? I didn't watch it.
No, I was watching the greatest quarterback alive play golf.
Tony Romo?
Aaron Rodgers?
Tony Romo. Oh man, everybody's got jokes today. It's great.
Johnny Football?
Baker Mayfield?
Wait. Baker was playing today? And I missed it? Fuck. I'll be back.
I'm sure there's a VOD somewhere, Earl, that you can watch that on. But yeah,
Earl,
I didn't.
Earl has it recorded on a VHS tape. He'll watch it later.
Well, you guys have VHS tapes?
Well, yeah, what did you use?
8-track.
That's
I just have to
audio.
listen to the sound. I just gotta listen to the sound.
What are you looking for something else to make noise with? Is that what you're doing right now?
Earl's recorded someone playing golf, so you can just hear the sounds of the club
Just-
hitting the ball.
Just tink,
Yeah.
Tink.
tink.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the NBA finals today.
Mute him. Mute him. Oh dear God.
But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be Phoenix in 5. They played pretty well
Phoenix in
today. Giannis did come back and play tonight. And as talented as he is, the Bucks did beat my Hawks. The Hawks had a fantastic season. You know, one of the greatest runs, and they finally gave Nate McMillan a contract. Thank you. But yeah, I'm gonna go Suns in 5.
Seth either is being the ultimate professional and just ignoring your nonsense, or he can't hear you, and I don't know which one's which. But yeah, I think Suns in 5 is the right answer there. I don't think they'll sweep them, but it should be a good series.
So I'm gonna go Suns in 4 because as of this past week, I am still the champion of predictions
Whatever.
because I did say 2-1. Can't guarantee United win.
Son of a bitch, he did.
Yeah.
God, I hate Earl. I hate him. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I muted that. My bad.
So,
I already know your feelings. I know your true feelings.
Yeah,
Earl, I'm a little bummed that I can't pick you up on Friday. I enjoy our car rides of nonsense.
Well, you still can. You just gotta leave Allie behind.
I can't. Yeah, no, I can't. We're not going back to. I mean, I guess technically, I could, and then I would have to leave the game, drive to Moriarty, drop you off, drive back to Berlin, and then we're getting up in the morning and going to Cruces. So
Yeah, don't worry about it. Seth,
Yeah.
I will park at your place, and then we could ride to Dion's. Then you could pick us up from Dion's and do that fun jazz.
okay,
Yeah.
we'll workshop it. We'll workshop.
Yeah,
We got
that
a couple
works.
days.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're not here to make plans. Has the podcast started?
Yes,
Have we actually started?
have
Okay.
the podcast. Yes.
Wait,
I'm
have we
just-
started?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I think you did do the introduction and then ask the one burning question.
Yeah. Yeah, we are in the podcast. I was waiting for something to come flying in from off screen from Jacob's camera, but I think he gave the right answer because I know Allie's sitting there with him. So
Okay,
But,
so can I ask my one burning question?
yes, you can.
It's a play on an old Shakespeare quote. To panic or not to panic? That is son of a bitch, Earl. Jesus. Will you mute him? Just mute him. That's all it takes.
Nope,
You have the power.
I do have the power. Nope, I'm not gonna do it.
We're never gonna get through this episode.
We might not.
Never.
We might, but you know, it is what it is. It's even if we don't get through it, we'll have the recording here on YouTube, and it will live on forever. That's what'll happen.
If I'm a listener to this podcast, I am pissed right now. I apologize, listener. I apologize. The good news is that Earl's about to eat an airhead, so his mouth will be non-functional for about 30 minutes now. Um, he can still probably make noises other ways, but he won't talk, which I think we can all agree is listening to him open an airhead is probably better than hearing him talk. So
Oh,
staple, oh,
he has
a
He
paper,
has a notepad.
it's a pad of paper. I don't know why these are so entertaining. Anyways, are we panicking, guys? What are we doing? Are we at least like hovering? Like I was close to hitting the panic button 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and then I got talked off the ledge because we beat San Antonio, and then since then we have looked
Don't say it.
not as bad as Vegas did to start the season, but not great. Uh, giving up 8 goals in 3 matches. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. And it didn't.
So I don't think we're hitting the panic button yet. I do think it's starting to creep up in the back of our minds, and we're starting to think about it a lot more. If for whatever reason, who the hell are we playing this weekend?
Colorado Springs.
And then Charleston.
If
on Monday.
for whatever reason we don't come out with 3 points against Colorado Springs, I think it's time to start thinking about the panic button a little more.
Hold on. So my wallet is on my dresser, and I just see my wife reach across my bed, grab my wallet, and look at her phone. She's buying me something. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself, so I don't take my wallet away from her.
Xanax?
Something, I don't know.
Adderall?
This is me right now, guys. This is me right now. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Yes.
It's a very small panic button. It's not the big giant panic button.
Okay, well,
No, it's a very small panic button.
Before I give my answer to your question, what is it about these 3 performances that has you panicking?
Well, before these 3 performances, every bad result, you've been able to go, okay, RGV got a lucky bounce. It was the first game of the season, blah, 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 blah. Loudon, the refereeing was atrocious, blah, blah, blah. Austin parked the bus parked multiple buses, more than I've ever seen parked, and we couldn't break them down. Then we beat San Antonio, and we're like, okay, there we go. And then, last Friday before last, about a week and a half ago, I wasn't mad at all. We played Haji Berry. We got our butts kicked by Haji Berry and the other members of that front 3, and they just, I didn't think our defense was bad. They just performed. But then the second half specifically of the Monarchs and El Paso games just were straight up dumpster fires. And I don't like, if it was just something that, like, if we just played bad for 2 games in a row, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But if you go back to a few weeks ago when I was hovering over the panic button to begin with, it was because we could not finish as in score goals and finish as in finish games out and get results. And if you look at the last 3 matches, we had a lead in all 3 of them. We ended up losing all 3, not just drawing all 3 of them, not getting a point here or there. No, we were up in both matches at halftime. Well, in 2 of the 3 matches, we were up at halftime and ended up getting 0 points out of it. And everything that I have talked about being a problem, which was finishing for me, it's been on the offensive side. Just, I feel like the creativity has been there. I feel like the chances have been there, at least for the most part. Just touches inside the box have been absolutely atrocious, whether it's the second to last touch that would set up a goal or the goal itself. Brown had a glorious opportunity to tie that El Paso match, and from the 6-yard box, like right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and kicked it out of the stadium. it was so bad. Not even, let alone not put it on frame. He just sky mailed that to the moon. And that just epitomizes the problem that we have, in my opinion. Is I know a lot of people are going to point at the defense, but the we should be scoring more goals. And if we score 2 on El Paso before they tie it, we're not giving up 2 goals in 90 seconds to get a draw. We're finding a way to put them away, but we haven't been that killer instinct to put our foot down and get 2 goals in the back of the net. Aside from Salt Lake, obviously, but that was another disaster in the second half altogether.
So here's my thing, and so for a while now, I've kind of hopped off the bandwagon of JOG and JP versus JPG, and that kind of shenanigan. I was kind of playing it nice because he was actually playing kind of good. This past match with El Paso, he reminded me on why I called him JOG all last season. He should not have a starting spot because he's not that kind of caliber. Maybe year one he was, maybe some of year two, a match here, a match there he was, but he's not, and he has not changed my mind on why he shouldn't be starting. There is some debate on whether Dev should be starting or not. I think he. Go ahead, Jacob.
Remind me again what JOG was.
Jog.
Just jog. Okay.
JPG.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it stood for something or if it was just jog.
It's just jog because he does not put his 100% into every play. So back what I was saying, there could be some debate on Dev not starting or Dev starting or whoever you ask on YouTube or Facebook or if you ask Jacob. I still think with the talent we have right now, and I'm talking like right now as of this moment, yeah, Dev starts. Dev definitely starts over Illich. Dev, when it comes down to it, will start over Brown. I I don't know what's wrong. I don't think it's the defense. I think our defense is still good. Yeah, we've given up 1 billion goals in the past 2 nights, in past 2 games, but I don't think it's our defense. I think it's our midfield not playing smart, and I think that has something to do with Azira coming in into a starting role, which kind of surprises me still, and JPG JOG still having the starting spot over Sergio Rivas.
Well, would you start Rivas and let's say Cello over JPG and Azira?
I would start my grandma over JPG.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so to go back to Jacob's original question, I'm not hitting the panic button right now. Some of that has to do with the fact I'm an Atlanta supporter. I'm an Everton supporter. And, there's going to be bad. As a sports fan, there's
You're also a Falcons fan.
Yes, there is. I was like, Atlanta, Atlanta sports. And, there's going to be bad. There's going to be, stretches of games where you're not going to play well. And that goes for any sport.
And I agree with you, Seth. It's just, it's three years now where we have seen us not be able to hold on to leads for whatever reasons. It's 3 years of the same midfield causing the same problems. It's 3 years of Dev starting when I mean, I look at Dev and I understand fully why he starts. He is the face of this franchise. He is New Mexico United. And he's not terrible. He just, you compare him to Haji Berry, and I get that they have 2 different styles, and there's different ways to play that position. But if you just look at production, we're not getting anything out of him. But on the flip side of that coin, like Earl said, who are we going to put there? Unless we change the formation, If we decide to play with two forwards, unless it's like Brown and Rivas right now with Amondo out, and Brown's probably going to be out. I think he might be out for this weekend.
No, he didn't make the final
No,
roster.
okay. So we won't lose Brown. That's man. I was nervous because if you lose Brown, then we really have nothing going for us right now because he was the one semi bright spot. Even though I mentioned him skying that sitter at the 6 yard box, but to me, it's not just 3 games that have me hitting the panic button. It is the past 3 years having the same or similar issues, finishing matches and scoring goals, and that is worrisome. I'm not I'm not Troy out because one, I think we have a talented roster that Troy put together. Two, this is Troy's 3rd year as a head coach, and I believe he is capable of learning from things. Um, I just wish he wouldn't start Juan Pablo Guzman and Azira in the same midfield, and preferably would have enough talent up front to bring Dev off the bench. But other than that, I'm fine with it. And I would like to throw my 2 cents in on the question that you asked Earl about who I would start in the midfield. I I'm okay with Juan Pablo starting. He just can't start with Azira and Tanari. Or let me rephrase that. He I need two players next to him that can at least be a threat in the attack. Whether that's Isidro, Tanari, Rivas, 2 of those 3 have to start next to Juan Pablo if he starts. I wouldn't start him if I was the coach. Of course, I'm not. But I don't have a problem with him starting. It just can't be next to Azira. And I don't have a problem with Azira playing. It just can't be next to Juan Pablo Gunmaz. And actually, no, you know what? Take that back. I don't want Juan Pablo out there because as soon as I said that, the play where they scored their first goal, El Paso scored their first goal, just ran through my head. And it was just Juan Pablo just gifting the ball to El Paso at the top of the box and then just hanging his head and not doing anything to try to fix the situation. It was like he gave the ball away and was like, oh shit, they're going to score. I messed up and just gave up. And so, yeah, no, take him out. Sit him down. I have to look it up. I'm going to look something up. I'm going to let somebody else talk while I look something up.
Um,
See, I'm on the same boat. I mean, I said it week 2, I believe it was, that JPG should not be starting. I've been on the JPG hate wagon I've been drinking the haterade, if some people will say, for a while now, and throwing in different quirks into the roster, into the lineup, like starting Azira, does not help JPG at all. Don't get me wrong. Do I think Azira is a talented individual? Yes, of course. But I don't think that he's a defensive player, and I don't know what kind of player JPG is, but with Azira starting next to JPG, they kind of feed off of each other's bad habits, and 90-second 2 goals in 90 seconds is what happens.
yeah, so I'm trying to figure out where to start with this. I mean, I look at it. Looking at these past three matches, there's obviously a lot of negative to take away from it. And you know, we can talk about maybe some of the positives later. Specifically, looking at how we've played and how we've had to line up. I definitely so both JPG and Azira are more CDMs. They're more defensive minded players, and Juan Pablo does a pretty good job of handling the actual middle of the pitch. And you can't really fault him too often for the decisions that he makes out there in terms of picking his passes and where they go. Now, every player gives the ball away at some point. It's going to happen. But here in these past couple matches, you look at Colorado Springs, which was I think that was the first. No, that was the first of the three. Colorado Springs was the first of the three.
Hmm.
You look at that, and we talked about Haji Berry before the match. We talked about Galena before the match, and we knew that those two were going to be dangerous. And between the midfield not containing either of them, and then I think there.
He's back, girl. He's back. He's back. Oh,
Okay,
here we go again.
that was really weird.
Monarchs.
What? I'm confused. All right, hang tight, YouTube. Hang tight. Okay, you guys there?
I'm here, but you're super quiet again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here, but I can barely hear you.
All right. I don't know what happened.
Your
What?
internet's on the fritz.
I don't know. Yeah, nothing's changed as far as my.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so as I was saying, what I was saying, we talked about Haji Berry, we talked about Galena, and we didn't contain them, not through the midfield. And I thought Sam was the wrong pick to play on their right side against Haji Berry, and their pace just absolutely killed us. And that's something we don't actually have a lot of. And we kept seeing Galena and Berry link up time and time again throughout that match. So it's really hard to put anything into that match other than that. I mean, you can't pinpoint particular players that failed there. Um, Now looking at Monarchs, the next match. Now, I think it's worth pointing out that Monarchs did have 4 players from Real Salt Lake play in that match, and so there's going to be a different level of competition there. And we jumped out to the 2-goal lead. I thought we played really well in the first half, but after we surrendered that first goal, and then RSL started pressing a little bit more. And of course, this was the match that Big Phil got his debut, and so I felt kind of bad for Phil in this. And again, I don't think Phil is a bad keeper. I feel like that was a match of bangers. There were some goals from distance. That last one from Noah Powder took a funky slice on it. And so I don't necessarily put all of that on him. Yes, he probably could have positioned himself a little bit better.
So not to cut you off, if you could hold your thought for a second.
Yeah.
I'm actually, and it's bad to say it, but I'm actually happy that El Paso scored on us like they did in 90 seconds. Hear me out, Jacob. I know it sounds crazy.
Is this an anti-Tambakis take?
No, it's actually
Okay.
it's 50-50. So immediately after RSL match, the Monarchs match, Facebook was going nuts. Where's Alex? Where's Tambakis? I miss Cody. Blah 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Really, what it was. Um, but then the next week, Tambakis gives up 2 in 90 seconds. But there was no kind of I miss Phil or I miss Cody. Blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up. Bullshit. Anyway, Seth, go back on.
Oh yeah, Earl kind of jumped the lead a little bit there, and then getting to El Paso. I mean, yeah, we took not early, we took the lead in the first half in that match. Brownie got his first goal for the club on I thought was a fantastically taken free kick. I thought he play that very smartly, going under the wall. And I have to point out the color commentator for El Paso acting like she'd never seen that before. I mean, come on, it's one of the.
So
It became a
so
lot
hold
more
on, hold
common.
on. I think I don't know for sure, but I'm going to try to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that I think what she was saying was that she's never seen it actually stop a shot. There was a lot of commotion in there. She said a lot of things, but at one point in there, she said basically, "I've never seen it work," and I think that's what she was getting at. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but I think that's what she was getting at. Or she's never seen him face the area of the free kick. I was thinking about this when I was watching it because we know how much I hate El Paso players, most El Paso players. I think it would have been hilarious if Brown or Dev just straight up aimed for his nuts and just kicked the ball as hard as they could right at his face or his balls and just because he had his hands behind his back. Like I didn't I guess to not get a handball called, but it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen there.
Well,
But
that's why you lay with your That's why you lay with your back to it.
yeah, exactly.
But
So I think I could be wrong, but I'm trying to give this girl who has been atrocious. Don't get me wrong, she's been bad for the 2 matches that we've played there. But just trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and say I think what she was saying was she's never seen it actually stop a shot and work.
yeah,
Because most of the time, if you see somebody laying there, then you're just not going to hit the ball on the ground because there's no point. But I think that's what she was saying. But at the same time, I don't really want to defend her because she's an El Paso commentator who is bad.
yeah. No, I get
Her
that.
and Yuma probably drink beers together.
Probably.
They just might, and so things look good in that match, and then there in the second half, obviously El Paso comes back, scores 2 goals in 90 seconds. Diego Luna gets 2 goals. All nice, all nice and good for him. But and then
Dylan Mares.
oh, Mares, that's right. I thought not Luna, it was Mares got the 2. That's right. I was thinking Diego Luna because of how good he played for them on Friday night. But anyway, looking at that scenario, then looking at the comments across social media and after the fact, again, people are calling, oh, it's a tactical problem, tactics mean coaches and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going, okay, if you want to pick out this match and say there's a tactical issue here, yes, there are things that you can point to and say, hey, this is a problem. And I replied to this person on Reddit, and I said, there are, here are a couple different things where you can pull this and say, yes, this was a poor tactical decision. There was a play there was a moment there in the second half where if you watch the play on the pitch, Sam had pulled all the way over and was basically playing a center back, almost left center back, slightly left to center, leaving the entire right side of the pitch completely open. And Josh had to track all the way back to make a stop. That was poor positioning right there. A poor tactical decision, not by Troy, but by the players on the pitch. Instead of maintaining their shape, and they slid so far over, they gave that entire side of the pitch open. And there were a few other things that I pointed out as well. And I'm looking at probably this person. I said, but you have to look at what happened, what led the lead up to those goals. The first one, JPG made a incredibly terrible pass that Nick Ross picked off and set them up to score that first goal. Second one, Michael Azira made a terrible pass. Andrew Tenari, who the pass was going to, he just stood there. He didn't move towards the ball. He didn't move to take that pass and allowed Nick Ross to step in again and set up that second goal. And I look at it and honestly, Alex made a great save on the first shot there by I think it was it Rebe? I think it was Rebellon. He got the first shot off. Alex made the save, got the deflection, and then it just happened to fall straight to Dylan Mares. I don't blame Alex. Could he have wrapped it up? Maybe. We don't know how incredibly hard it is. It was a good shot by Rebellon. It was a hard, low-driven shot, and maybe that's all he could do. But there was no one on that side of the goal, and Mares just walked in and took it. There's nothing that there's nothing that Alex could have done about that, really. I mean, again, maybe he could have wrapped it up. It's just looking at it, but I mean, there were issues there. But to say it's a tactical decision and it's on Troy, I've even seen people say, "Oh, he's not coaching to win." That is the biggest load of bullshit. Troy doesn't go out there. No coach goes out there to coach to lose or to coach to draw. No one goes out there with that intention. The match against El Paso, the outcome was the direct result of two terrible passes from two players that really shouldn't have made those passes they were trying to do. Now, yes, El Paso was pressing significantly higher and with more intensity in that second half, but these are two intelligent players that could have done something better with the ball. That is not a tactical decision by Troy. That is not a tactical error by Troy. That was not a problem with how they lined up. It was two mental errors by veteran players, and that's where that match was lost.
So I got, and we've obviously talked about comments on social media galore already, but I did get one that actually made me think. It is Troy that is making the decision who is out there. And for as bad as Juan Pablo Guzman has played at times, and for giving up, I mean, that wasn't the first turnover that he had. Obviously, you're going to turn the ball over, but it is a turnover that we've seen him make before. And so, yes, Guzman is the one that made that mistake. Azira is the one that made that mistake. Troy is the one that had them out there in the first place and keeps having Guzman out there, even though everybody on this podcast anyways. Well, actually, I don't know what Seth's thought on Juan Pablo Guzman is, but me and Earl both are pretty much not against him, but think that there are better options out there. So,
okay, but are there better options in the team though? Look at who we have.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you: is Tenari a better defender than? Okay, there's a quick answer thing I hear on the radio. Okay, Juan Pablo or Tenari?
Tenari.
Azira or Tenari?
Tenari.
Okay. Now keep in mind this is in a defensive role. This is a defensive-minded role.
Yes, because Tenari. So back to the Tenari thing on the defensive-minded role thing. Tenari last year was the star of our defense. He was an absolute bulldog. He was everywhere. He challenged everything. He disrupted plays. He picked up yellow cards, yes, but for the most part, they weren't cheap yellow cards. They were one, either hard fouls just to send a message, or they were to stop a fast break or something like that. So Tenari defensively, to me, yes. With the ball at his feet, yes. It's Tenari all day, every day over Guzman.
Okay. Rivas or Guzman?
Rivas. So I say Rivas because Rivas has the ability to get back quickly. He also has the ability to flip the light switch on and get upfield faster than hell.
See, if you were to tell me that you were going to put Rivas in Guzman's place and still have Tenari up front, one, I would still be okay with that. I think Rivas has the ability, like Earl said, Rivas can get back. He can defend. He is athletic enough. He's fast enough. He can put himself in better positions than I feel like Guzman can. And then two, if you're telling me that Tenari's up at like the head of the spear type thing there at the top in the midfield, and it's Rivas's job to be the Guzman role and drop back and defend, I would say that's dumb. You shouldn't be doing that. So to me, it's not a question of can this person replace Guzman straight up, because I just feel like we have a better midfield trio that are all kind of interchangeable and can do similar things If you were to tell me that our starting midfield was Rivas, Isidro, and Tenari, I'd be thrilled because I feel like they can all do good things on both sides of the ball and can attack better than Guzman can and not give the ball away in dangerous spots better than Guzman can and can get back and defend better than Guzman can.
For me, I think that in a purely defensive midfield role, I feel like Azira and Guzman are the two better defensive midfielders that we have. Yes, Tanari is good. Yes, Tanari can get back. Yes, he's a bulldog and he can do a great many number of things. I feel like he is the way Troy's been playing him, the way he's evolved his game in just the short time we've seen him, that he's definitely a lot better going forward and creating opportunities. I feel like Guzman's distribution is better. Um, and I don't think that I want Sergio or Cello trying to track back and be a holding mid or a defensive mid. I would rather have them going forward than dropping back.
But if you
See,
have go ahead, Earl.
I'm okay with Sergio dropping back and being that holding mid or being the defensive mid because he's able to stop the ball, and as soon as he stops the ball, he can instantly turn it around and get the ball upfield to Dev or get the ball up to Brian and make smart passes to where we're not giving up 90-second goals.
I I just feel like if you have Tenari, Rivas, and Martinez in the midfield, all three of those guys, I feel, can do more just in the broad sense of the term. So, I mean, if we're talking about just a central defensive midfielder, then yes, I will say Guzman is probably the best at that. I will give you that. Guzman and Azira are, those that's the role for them. But I don't think that's what we want or need. We've talked about the versatility of this roster since we saw it take the pitch. And if you look at our two least versatile players, it is Guzman and Azira. They do one thing. They are a central defensive mid, and that is it. They offer nothing in the attack. I, I'm going to try to do this at some point. I'm going to go through every goal that we have scored with Guzman on the pitch in our 3 years and see. I'm not just going to look at assists. I'm not going to look at goals. I'm not going to look at stats. I want to see the video of every single goal leading up to it and see if he starts or does anything to contribute to that play. And I know that he's going to. I know he's going to in some of them because he's on the pitch all the time and we score goals. So I know that there's going to be some where he might get a turnover or get a steal, get an interception, and turn it around and at least play a pass sideways instead of backwards or something like that. But my guess is it's not very many. And we have struggled to score goals essentially since year one, even some in year one. And I think Guzman is one of the 3 people that you can draw a line from year one to now and say, hey, these guys are on the pitch a lot and we have problems scoring quite a bit. Could there be a connection there? I think so. So I would rather have somebody like Tenari who can go back, do 80% of the Guzman central defensive midfield job, but then do 120, 150, 200% more than Guzman does pushing the ball forward.
So I'm willing to say on your little video escapade, about 90% of those videos will not have anything to do with Guzman.
Oh, I agree.
Because I
that would be
remember
what I
year
expect.
one, and Guzman's name was quite quiet. It was pretty quiet. There wasn't really anything in there. It was a he who shall not be named, and That's about it. He who shall not be named.
and Freighter.
Yeah,
But
but Frater was
I
a
don't,
top scorer.
yeah, that's true. And I don't expect Guzman to score. I don't expect Guzman to be an assist maker. I I just don't think he contributes anything going forward whatsoever. I hockey assists, the pass before the hockey assist, I'm talking like 6, 7, 8, 9 plays before the goal. Does he do anything to push forward and contribute to an attacking style? And I understand that that's like, I know those soccer people that have been soccer fans their whole life are going to come at me and be like, that's not his role. That's not what his position is called to do. Blah, 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 blah. I get that. I understand that fully. I just don't. I, I want versatility. And even if he was just like 5% better going forward than what he is, I would be okay with it. But I just, he's not my cup of tea, man. And I don't think he contributes near as much as he should. And coach keeps putting him out there. And that's the only thing that makes me kind of step back and go, well, maybe I don't know, because I know that I'm not a huge tactical soccer person yet, because I have only been watching for 3 seasons essentially. But I do know that I'm a pretty fast learner. And soccer, while not the sport that I've grown up watching, I understand the ebbs and flows of team sports, and I compare soccer most closely to basketball or hockey, and I know that they're not the same, but I'm basketball was my sport growing up, and so I can make comparisons there. And in order for a player in basketball to not give anything on one side of the ball, they have to be out freaking standing on the other side of the ball. And I don't think he's good enough defensively, even though that's his position. To, I mean, if he was just a stud, I mean, say like he was like the Kalen Ryden of defensive midfielders, then I'm like, okay, yeah, no, he needs to be out there because they don't get shit past him, and he's just incredible at that. But that's not him. He makes mistakes. We've seen him make mistakes for 3 years now. And so why give up what we give up on the attack when he's a B level defender? And that has to fall on Troy if he keeps putting him out there, and that is the cause of one of our problems, then that has to be on Troy. That doesn't mean Troy can't learn. That doesn't mean that Guzman won't be here next year, so he can't play him next year. It's just, I don't know what kind of connection they have there, or what's going on there that makes him put him out there every game. But I don't. I think it's a wrong move, and it is Troy's. It is one thing that I can look at and say Troy is not faultless in all of this. Like it, Tenari made, or Guzman made that mistake. Brown didn't score the sitter at the 6-yard box. We couldn't finish to save our life in the first half. Dev looked absolutely terrible. Those are all true statements. But at the same time, Troy is the one that built the roster. Troy is the one that's putting them out there. Troy is the one that's making subs. So the blame is on him as well. It's just, I don't want him fired. I just want him to be better. That's all.
I get that. I think we can all agree that it is on Troy to put out the team sheet that will bring us a positive result. And something that Troy has said from day one is that he's always going to put out whoever he feels is the best fit for that match. And so, I mean, we see him make changes. We see him make rotations. We see him do that. And we know that they go through training every day, or whatever their schedule is. Outside of that training, it's up to the guys on the pitch to make the plays. And with veteran guys out there, you have to be able to trust them to do that. Now, I mean, obviously, if they're not capable of performing at a high level anymore, then a change has to be made. But once they're out there, and you can see Troy making adjustments. You saw, Friday against El Paso, you saw Harry and Josh switch sides. In like the 35th minute, you saw them switch sides, and something just flipped. Like a switch flipped at that point, and we looked a lot better with Josh on the right and Harry on the left. So Troy is capable of making these changes and making adjustments during the match. It's just for whatever reason, and something we've talked about, like the guys have moments where they just like switch off, or they're not as focused, and there's only so much that Troy can do. Now, I personally don't have an issue with the formation that we have. I saw some people, saying that the three at the back experiment is done and blah blah blah, but I think it's just fine. I mean, a couple matches ago, we had three straight clean sheets with three at the back.
Yeah, we had given up 8 goals or 5 goals in 8 matches at one point.
Ahead of the prior to these 3 matches, we had the best goals against average that we've ever had. We were playing well. We had 3 consecutive clean sheets, and so I don't think the 3 at the back is the issue. We talked about, is it time for a formation change? And maybe there is a maybe there are some circumstances in which Troy will change that. And we've seen it. Like we see them adapt. We see how the team lines up. We know that Josh can drop back. We know that Harry can drop back. We see it happening on the pitch. So I don't necessarily think it's a formation issue. Especially when you've got guys like Noah Powder and Mares scoring goals from outside the box. I mean, there's only so much that you can do with that. So. Again, Troy can only coach them up so much. Once they get on the pitch, it's on them.
I agree with all of that. I do. The issue that I have specifically with Troy and his decision making is that Guzman has led the midfield in minutes played. So far, he's leading the midfield this year in minutes played by a lot. Mm-hmm. He led the midfield in minutes played in year 1, and him and Tenari were within like 50 minutes of each other, with Tenari kind of beating him out last year. But Guzman plays way too many minutes, and that is on Troy. So it is on Guzman to perform when he's out there. He has not been performing. Troy needs to make that adjustment, and he has not. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I can sit here and point out 100 mistakes that the players made in the last 3 games that has led to us losing these last 3 games. And that's why I don't want Troy fired. And that's why I don't want Dev to lose his starting position necessarily, but I want to see more out of him in order for him to stay on. Like in order for him to be the starter, I need to see something. And we're just not seeing it in matches. And for whatever, like, I get coach and everybody is around them for training day in and day out and this, that, and the other, and I get all that. But some players are lights out in training, and then you put them against a different opponent, and they're a different player. And so I don't know if that's what we're seeing with Guzman, if he's just like the training ground king and is just nutmegging everybody and creating chances galore on the training pitch, on training field, but then you get to Estopes Park or Southwest University Field or whatever the hell it's called down there, and he's just not the same. So adjustments there need to be made, and I don't think it's a formation issue at all. I think the back 3 has done great for us. If you take out these last 3 games, especially, they've been outstanding. I mean, 5 goals in 8 matches. That's beyond great, in my opinion. So I think that these three can be an aberration to an extent. I just I just want to see more, man. We should be a better team. And to have this same issue of costly mistakes, specifically in the second half, I don't understand why it keeps happening.
Is this something that you guys think we can turn around? I mean, obviously, still only 10 matches in. You know, obviously, is this something that we can turn around?
So it depends on what you mean by turnaround. I think we make the playoffs still. I think we make the playoffs pretty easily. I think the potential is there to make a run in the playoffs. So, yes, it can be turned around. And anything can. That's the beauty of American playoffs in sports is that, especially soccer, it's a one match, do or die, loser goes home. All the cliches that you can throw in there if you want. And anything can happen in those situations. A team can get hot. I mean, I don't think any of us in 2019 said, you know who's the best team in the league? Real Monarchs. No, they were not the best team. They were a good team, don't get me wrong, but they were not the best team in the league going into that playoffs by a long shot. I think you'd have given us, there were 10 teams that made the playoffs that year with the 2 playing rounds. I think I'd probably have them 6th, maybe 5th. And yet they got hot and won the title. So that can happen. But what I thought going into this season and what I want is for us to dominate beginning to end, or at least be on everybody's radar from beginning to end. And now I'm wondering if people aren't going to be like, oh, this team's not actually that good. We can take it to them. Like, I want people to be scared when they come to the lab. I don't think Colorado's scared for a Friday. I think Colorado is licking their lips to get to us and say, this team is reeling. We started that. Let's freaking drive a dagger through their heart right now is what's going on in that locker room would be my guess. Because that's how I would feel if I was going in to play them. And I'm not a professional athlete. So I think Haji Berry is sitting there going, ooh, yes. 2 more, guys. I'm going to get 2 more tonight. And that's not how I want it to be. So if you're saying, can we turn it around? Can we win a couple games? Can we make the playoffs? Of course, I think we're going to do that. But if you're saying, can we turn it around and become the team that everybody is scared to face coming into the lab, and if you're saying turning it around means that we're going to have home matches at the lab, I'm a little leery at the moment, especially with Armando being out for a little while longer. Because we're 1 injury to those forwards away from having Sandoval and Illich have to play 90 minutes for 3 matches in a row. And that doesn't necessarily scream goals to me if that's the case. And it's nothing against those players. I like Illich. It's just we haven't seen it yet.
See, I don't think, just off the last part of it all, I don't think that we're 1 injury away from Illich and Dev playing every game. I do think that we have some kind of depth in our midfield, such as Sergio, such as Cello. Fuck it, even Suggs. I can see those 3 names even popping up in a forward position have had an injury come up. So I do think there is some kind of depth there. But to answer Seth's question, yes, I do think we can turn it around, or right the ship, or correct the mistakes, or whatever the hell people want to call them. It's just a personnel change. It's a simple bench JPG and don't fucking start him, and I think we're okay.
See, I don't think it's that simple though. Like one, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Troy has proven that he's not going to bench Juan Pablo Guzman for a long period of time. He has too much respect for him. Juan Pablo's been in this league for too long and has performed good at what he does for too long. So I don't think we're going to see that. Two, even if we see that, there's still a major hole to me up front with finishing. And putting in Tenari or Isidro for Guzman and having Rivas or Tenari or Isidro up in that midfield as an attacking midfielder with Suggs and Schwartz, like it all sounds like it should be fantastic. And like I said, the chances are there. The the thing that's lacking is the touch in the final third. And benching Juan Pablo Guzman isn't going to fix that because Juan Pablo Guzman is allergic to the final third. He's never up there anyway, so he's not the problem there. So I get it, but I gotta see the ball find the back of the net before my huge fears are or my huge concerns are taken care of.
Do you think it's a confidence issue with those guys, or do you think it's a technical issue?
Well, we've seen Brian Brown score goals in this league. He lit it up for Reno in 2019. He was very good and very dangerous and scores goals from everywhere. So I don't think he's lacking skill and I don't think he's lacking confidence, or at least I wouldn't expect him to lack confidence because I know he knows that he's good and belongs here. And then when you're looking at Dev and Amando and Illich I just don't think has gotten the reps. I don't think he can get comfortable. I think maybe if we'd have seen that Loudon call go the other way and have Illich get his first when they called him offside, even though he wasn't, I think maybe you see a different Illich after that. But they just seem to be just. I think I've said this for the past probably. I think I've said it all year that they're this close. They're just like right there. They just need like one little touch or one little bounce to go their way sometimes, and it's there. It's just they're either just not on the same page on a play, or the final touch lets them down, or the goalie or a defensive player makes a hell of a play. There's just always seems to be one little thing that just doesn't go right, and I don't know what that's about. I don't know why that is, and it's honestly very frustrating because it's like, oh, we get there, I see it, here it comes, oh man, and it's like that 5-6 times a game where it's like that. And so if I had to put it on confidence or skill, I would say it's a lack of confidence because I think the skill is there. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm not inside their heads.
All right. Well,
I feel like you guys are doing crossword puzzles or something when I talk.
no, I was just looking at some of my notes. So
you have notes?
Yeah, I have some notes.
That's why you're the host, my friend. That is why you're the host.
I try to have a few,
and that's why I talk the most because I don't have notes, so I don't know what to keep me on point. I just talk until I feel like I'm done.
And that's perfectly fine. No,
you're not doing crossword puzzle?
No.
New York Times, baby.
No, I just have a few notes, different, little talking points and maybe some stats and things like that. It's not a lot, but if I was to sit down call a match or watch along, whatever, I'd have pages and pages of notes. But
if I was doing that, I would.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just some notes that I've gotten, and so I think we've kind of touched on all those. We talked about our concerns. We talked about what we think needs to happen, where we might see some improvement, and I think that gets us into this weekend. I mean, we've got 2 matches: Friday, Monday, which is an unusual schedule. Colorado Springs, of course, will be in town on Friday night. And then on Monday, we have Monday Night Football against Charleston Battery, a club that we will be facing for the very first time. And it's going to be an exciting weekend. First thing is a little bit of news came out today. Apparently, the city is not going to be able to remove the netting from the third base line I don't know why that's an issue or why they can only take down half of it. I don't know. But so, fans, if you're on the third baseline, you will have to deal with the netting on Friday night, potentially on Monday as well. But Colorado Springs obviously coming in. Jacob, you mentioned it earlier. We want this place to be loud. We want it to be raucous. We want them to be afraid to come here. And I do want to point out that Friday night will be the very first time this season and the first time since 2019 that New Mexico United is open, that the lab is open for full capacity. And I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see 12,000 plus there on Friday night, and that's something that these teams have not played in front of for quite a while. I know our 9,000 8,900, 9,000 fans has been pretty impressive at the 75% capacity, but 12,000 plus Friday night. Hopefully it'll be packed. I don't imagine Monday nights will be quite as big, but how much of a factor do you think that plays into these two matches?
Oh, it's gonna be huge. At least for Friday, I think that'll be a booster for United to get back into it and get back into their groove of things, especially playing in. I think there'll be more than 12,000. I want to say closer to 14. That's just hopeful thinking and wishful thinking. Um, if it's anything over 12,000, it's a plus, and either way, even if it's 9, it's gonna be loud as hell, and I can't wait. But yeah, I think it's going to be a booster, at least for 2 home games, to where they get to at least play in front of their own crowd, being on a road trip. They get to play in front of their own people, their own state, and they don't have to go far from home.
Yeah, we've talked about my apprehensions of the team playing at home a little bit and how I don't understand why they're not better. And to put that in perspective, with you look at the last, how many have we played at home this year?
4, I think.
So we played 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You look at the last 9 home matches. We'll say 10, just because. The last 10 home matches with fans, going back to September 14th of 2019, 3-1 win against Colorado Springs. Awesome. That is that's only the third. We've only had 3 wins in our last 10 home matches with fans. That 3-1 win against Colorado Springs in September of 2019, the October match against Vegas that sealed our playoff fate last year, a 2-0 win over Vegas, and then the 3-1 win against Austin Austin this year. Other than that, you have a 1-1 draw against Tacoma, a 1-1 draw against RGV, a 2-2 draw against Phoenix, a 3-1 loss against Reno, 1-0 loss against Loudoun, 0-0 draw against Austin, and then the San Antonio match. So I'm sorry, we had 4 in the 10 games. My bad. And we had leads in several of those draws. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be a giant boost in our performance because I have not seen the results that say playing at home in front of 1,000 or 15,000 fans is actually beneficial for our results. So I think it's a great morale boost. I think the players love playing in front of the fans. I think the fans are going to enjoy the atmosphere and have a great time. I'm not going to say that that's going to be a huge factor in whether we win or lose.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's not going to be a factor in whether we win or lose. I mean, unless we have a few talented folks out there in the stands that get signed before Friday, it's going to come down to the play on the pitch.
I think that everybody's perspective is that we have 15,000 fans. That should boost the players' play, and we should get more results playing at home in front of those fans. And that just hasn't been true. Period.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I think it's just one of those things where you want, I think everyone wants their home stadium, their home park to be a fortress. And I think that playing in front of 12, 15,000 people, when you're something that you're not used to. I mean, Colorado probably pulls what, a couple thousand. I don't know what Charleston pulls. But I imagine it's kind of unnerving when you're not used to it. And so, and I think there's just an electric atmosphere that happens out at the lab, and I think it does, help energize the club a little bit more on the pitch. You may see a little bit more effort, a little bit, a little extra effort, extra energy going into it. But in terms of like the actual outcome of the match, it absolutely doesn't, it doesn't play a factor in it. I think the guys definitely love playing at home more than on the road, and I think that's just part of it, is playing in front of the fans. And you know, no matter what, I'm gonna support them. I certainly hope we get some results this weekend, but there's gonna be two tough matches. I mean, Colorado Springs, obviously they just beat us 3-1. I mean, Haji Berry obviously is gonna be a player to keep an eye on Friday night. Probably Galena as well, Michi Galena, and I mean, outside of those two guys, I mean, they're probably the two biggest threats that they have.
I think. Oh crap! Well, I'm gonna blank on the name. The third person of their front three, Beckford.
Beckford, yeah.
Uh, I think he's starting to find a little bit of a groove now too, and that 1-2 punch now becomes a 3-punch combo that it's freaking scary. And our back line, I think, can be up for it, but like we've talked about ad nauseum this game, this podcast, is our midfielders need to be better. So uh, unless that changes, I don't see us slowing down those three up front.
Yeah, they're going to be tough no matter what happens. And like you said, we've got to find ways to contain them. I think maybe we make a switch in the back, maybe whatever side Barry's playing on, we put, Austin on that side to kind of help slow him down a little bit. I think Austin's got a little bit better pace than Sam does. So I think,
The thing about Barry though is I think he can. I mean, he's usually the central forward, so the center forward there, and he kind of goes wherever he wants. So uh, what I will say is I would put Sam on the opposite side of Galena
okay.
because I think Haji is going to go to whatever side he wants, and I think he's more likely to combine with Galena on one side. So if you switch Austin and Sam there, then maybe. But Haji Berry and company are so good that I think they might just find whoever the weakest is on the back line and attack them, no matter where they are.
Yeah, very well could be. Yeah, again, yeah, I think slowing down their forwards, that's the key. We got to find a way to do that, and then obviously finish our chances at the other end. And I think closing down on folks is going to be something that we have to do a little bit better of. We gave Colorado a few open looks, and obviously the pace killed us. So, predictions for Friday night.
Earl.
I'm gonna go crazy and say 3-0.
3-0.
I'm gonna make you say who
Colorado
though.
or us?
Yeah, I'm gonna make you give a winner here.
All right, let's see. I think Rivas gets one.
Okay, so it is us. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be us. We win 3-0 with Rivas, Suggsy, and Sandoval.
See, I see what Earl's doing here. He just is. He feels so bad for us getting so many predictions right that he's just going to say the most outlandish shit just so he's not right, and we don't have to listen to him brag about how he's right next week. Well, that's what you're doing.
Actually, there, kind sir. I've already had my lineup done. I've had my prediction for Monday and Friday. and who scores the goals. So it's not like an outlandish thing. It's like a wild guess up my ass.
All right, so Earl came prepared. Nice.
Yeah, I had notes.
Ah, I don't even know. I don't think there's a chance in hell we shut them out. Um, I understand that. Well, I know that Colorado Springs was shut out, not the last match that they played, but the match before against Orange County. I'm aware of that. They're not invincible. They can be shut down. With the way we are playing and the way Haji Berry is playing, and Galena and Beckford, there's just no way we keep a clean sheet unless we see a completely different second half team out there. So I cannot, in good faith, say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna keep a clean sheet." Uh, so I can't do that. And at this point, I don't know if I can say we're gonna score more than one goal. So 1-1 draw
1-1. All
is
right.
my prediction.
Okay. I think the guys are going to be not very happy about that road trip.
And Brownie gets the goal, by the way.
Nice. Okay. One for Brownie. There you go. I know Kaylin's already put out a statement on Twitter, at least, saying that they are disappointed it wasn't what they had wanted to do. They weren't the expected outcomes, and I think no one expected these outcomes. We got to be better. Got to protect those leads. Friday night, I think 2-1 us. I think they're just being back at home. I think the guys step it up a little bit. Not that they shouldn't be playing like that on the road, but I just think there's something, and they're going to be excited to be back. And I think 2-1 for us Friday night. All
right. I get the prediction. Mm-hmm. I think we've said like four times this year. I think we've said like 4 times this year that I don't want to be the next team that we play because we're going to be upset and we're going to come out and kick their ass, and then we take 86 minutes to score against Real Monarchs after the Loudon debacle.
Yeah.
And we lose 2-1 against El Paso, or 3-2 against Real Monarchs after we got our asses kicked by Colorado Springs. So I get it, and maybe playing at home can kind of change that, but that's probably the most disappointing thing to me is I don't see any fight in these guys. Like I see Ryden talking the talk, and Ryden is walking the walk. Don't get me wrong, Ryden's been spectacular, but as a team, they're not walking the walk when they're talking about that. They talked about the road warrior mentality and how this road trip wasn't going to be any different, and that this and that and the other. And then we lost 3 games on the road. So I need to see them come out and be pissed off. Like I want to see Ryden bark at Guzman for making that mistake. I understand family. I understand we're a family, this and that and the other. I have a family. And guess what? We fight like cats and dogs sometimes. And I'm not seeing any fight whatsoever in these guys. It's all, it's okay. It's okay. We'll get them next time. Well, this is the fucking next time. You got to get them Friday.
Yep.
Because if we lose Friday, I don't know what's going to happen. Because their confidence is going to be just completely shot to shit. And especially if it's in a manner where we get up by a goal or 2 and then end up losing. Like, that's just not going to fly. Things will change. Something will change. Not Troy. Troy's not going anywhere. But lineups will be shuffled, formations will be changed, and people will be sitting their ass on the bench because they're not performing if that's the case. I hope that's the case already, but Friday shit's going to hit the fan if they don't come out and fight like a motherfucker.
All right, there you go. Strong words from Jacob. And let's take a quick look at the Monday night football matchup against Charleston Battery. The Troy the Seine Cup is what I'm calling this one. Charleston Battery come in. They are 3-3-2 on the season. They have won 3 of their last 5 matches. They started off the season 0-1-2, which is not a good way to start your season. And they are 1-2-1 on the road right now, coming off of a loss to, and I had this up just a second ago,
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, that is correct. And so yeah, I mean, they played not they play only played 8 matches so far. They've got 9 goals scored and 11 conceded. Um, Honestly, I don't know. I still don't know a whole lot about Charleston. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna watch them a little bit ahead of the match on Monday to see if I can pick out some players. I mean, they're looks like they've got 3 guys tied for their team leading goals. This is gonna be interesting. First time an Eastern Conference opponent has come to us. Can't wait to see this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, knowing what little we know. I mean, have you guys watched Charleston at all?
I haven't watched them, no. Not this year, anyways. They've been a team that I've been trying to watch. It's just they never play when I have a chance to watch. Always got something going on, so I haven't had a chance. They're kind of a roller coaster of a team. You look at their results: 1-1 draw, 3-0 loss, 2-2 draw, 1-0 win, 2-1 win, 3-0 loss, 3-0 win, and then the 1-0 loss to Tampa Bay. So they haven't been able to string anything together. They also haven't lost multiple games in a row. So they're just kind of up and down. You never really know what you're going to expect. If you're looking at, what's the word I'm looking for? Similar opponents, common opponents.
Yeah.
The same opponents. They have played Loudoun twice, and they have won 1-0 and 3-0. So they have dominated Loudoun in a fashion that I feel like we should have dominated Loudoun and would have if it wouldn't have been for a terrible red card and some terrible calls on handballs and whatnot. So I feel like it's going to be a pretty good game. I think they're in for a rude awakening coming to this altitude. With Colorado Springs Friday, that doesn't come into play. But last time I checked, Charleston was pretty low in elevation, and they might be a hard time coming to this elevation and the fans. I mean, I don't know how I don't think our players react very well to the fans, but I will say I think the opposing players, if we jump on them early, they freak out a little bit. So it's going to be tough for them. They play Wednesday. They play tomorrow, and they do not play again until they play us. So they will have not a week, but definitely more time than us to recover and gear up to play us. So that they have that going for them, which is nice, to quote Caddyshack. But other than that, I think that game is a game that I expect to win.
Earl, have you watched them at all, or no?
No, I don't really watch soccer.
No.
That's the quote of the episode.
All right. So yeah, I misspoke. I misspoke earlier. Loudoun was, of course, the first Eastern Conference one to come out here. Charleston is the second. You talked about the elevation difference. The elevation of Charleston is 19 feet.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was relatively sure it was pretty much at sea level. Yeah. They did have their kickoff time changed, and they will not have fans at their game up on Wednesday. It is moved to 4 p.m. Eastern. They moved it up from, I think, 7 Eastern, that is, which would have been 5 o'clock here. So they're actually kicking off at 2 o'clock local time on Wednesday, which is unheard of for a Wednesday match anyways. And there will not be fans because of Tropical Storm Elsa.
Yeah, that's going to be
Hurricane Elsa.
Fun. Yeah.
Well, the news release here says Tropical Storm, so suck it, Earl.
Yeah, so yeah, Albuquerque is approximately 5,300 feet higher than than Charleston. We saw Loudoun struggle with the elevation change. Obviously, towards the end of the match, when they were flopping around like dead fish, they did. They're obviously that is a concern. Player safety, player health, pulled muscles, elevation sickness. I mean, my guess is they'll probably fly in pretty quick, or a day or two ahead of time to get used to it, try to acclimate just a little bit. I know it took me a while when I first moved out here to deal with it.
I'm
Um,
I'm
but
telling you right now though, if Monday morning I get up and get on Twitter and the PRO referee Twitter page has Chris Ruska refereeing
What is wrong with your What is wrong with your microphone?
nothing.
It sounded like
Maybe I was moving it too much. I do move it a lot. My bad. Anyways, if I wake up Monday morning and I get on Twitter and the pro referee Twitter page has the assignments and Chris Ruska's name is on that game, I boycott it right away if I'm New Mexico United. Because it's setting and it should be a carbon copy of that match against Loudon. Like we should feel them out for the first 10, 15 minutes, make them run around, get them tired. And in the second half, we should just have an onslaught of chances over and over and over again, just like we did against Loudon. And assuming the referee crew isn't the same, it should be a win by quite a bit.
yeah, I'm looking at the pro referees website right now. For some reason, they only have tomorrow or tonight's match between Orange County and Tacoma Defiance.
Yeah,
listed.
they don't announce it until the morning of.
That's so weird. I don't know why they do that. Chris Ruska is refereeing tonight, Orange County and Tacoma Defiance. So,
Oh, hopefully we don't see him then.
yeah, that would be nice. So score predictions for Monday Night Football.
3-0.
3-0. Okay. Earl.
2-1.
2-1. Okay. I'm gonna go 2-0 us. I don't see us falling to Charleston. I think New Mexico United wins the Troy Lesane Cup, at least this time around, and we'll hold it until I don't know whenever we see Charleston again. So there you have it, folks. That's pretty much gonna do it for our show this week. You've heard our takes on the previous 3 losses, our takes on Friday night's match and Monday night's match against Colorado Springs and Charleston Battery. Hopefully we see some of you folks out at the pitch both nights. If you see us, come stop by, say hi. Would love to talk to you guys. Also, if you do interact with us on Facebook, I want to challenge you. If you interact with us on Facebook at all, if you listen to the show, come join us here live on YouTube on Tuesday nights. Instead of, don't just sit behind your keyboards typing out your thoughts on Facebook and stuff. Come join us. Discuss it with us. We would love to have that discussion with you guys here on YouTube, and we'll get you on the show with us. And so I want to put that challenge out to everyone who is listening. Come join us on YouTube. Of course, Somos podcast. You can find us there. I think that's going to just about do it. Jacob, get us out of here.
How many yellow cards were in tonight's Orange County Tacoma Defiance match that Chris Ruska refereed?
5.
7.
7 is right.
Wow.
6 in the second half.
That guy's a joke, man.
Insane. Anyways, yeah. I'm gonna tack on to what Seth said there. Yeah, if you interact with us on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, anything like that, like come here, even if it's just in the chat here, type out what you're thinking, how much you hate me. Don't direct message me on Facebook, for Christ's sakes. Just come on here. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find Brandon Klein. I'm going to invite him on the podcast next week.
Do it.
And
Please do. Please do.
I will bring him on. We will not gang up on him. I will bring him on. I will let him speak his mind. I will tell him why I think he's wrong. And then Seth will kick him out. Unless he's great. I don't know. Maybe he's a great guy. I don't know. I don't know at all.
I just want to call him Dick Cheese.
But But yeah, come and interact with us. That's what we're all about here. Is we want you guys to be able to voice your opinions and have a discussion with us and not belittle everybody and this and that and the other. And I think we're a great place to do that. So let us know what you think. Find us on social media. Find us on the web, somosmasnm.com. Read what we have to write when we write and listen to the podcasts, all that jazz. We will be back next Tuesday night, 9:30. I was gonna say on the dot, but 9:30 ish. Um, back on YouTube with another episode, talking about 2 home matches this time, and hopefully 6 points or at least 4. Uh, and hopefully we can kind of right this ship momentarily, anyways. And I mean, it's still a long season, like Earl or Seth said earlier. We've played 10 matches, and there's 32 this season, so there is a lot of time left. But when you have a rough patch like this early enough in a season, you can either look at it as 2 things. You can look at it as, oh, there's plenty of time to turn this thing around, or it can snowball quickly. So I don't think that's going to be the case. And these next 2 games are going to go a long way in determining that. So next Tuesday should be a huge episode with a lot to talk about, either positively or negatively. And maybe Earl will watch some soccer between now and then. Um, maybe he'll just find other things to open and make noise with when we open the podcast. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But he's reaching for something. Oh, the llama. Oh, I missed the llama. Anyways, guys, it's awesome. It's great. You're muted, Earl, so you can't interrupt me. Damn it. Mitch, I don't know if you guys know who Mitch Hedberg is. He's a comedian. He he has a joke about Velcro being the sound of his addiction because he had a Velcro wallet uh, and was addicted to gambling. Great one-liner comedian. Passed away way too soon. Love that guy. But anyways,
Too old for Earl.
yeah, way. Next week, 9:30 here. Listen to the podcast a couple days later. I am going to drive to Moriarty and burn Earl's house down. So I'm not sure if he'll be on the podcast next week or not, but me and Seth will be here at least, and we'll have a good time regardless. So until next time, guys, Somos Unidos. Perfect way to end it. Perfect way.
All right, YouTube, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. As Jacob said, go and check out the podcast when it comes out later this week, and we will